In today's video, I want to go over risk management and position sizing and how to actually properly pass your prop firm accounts. So there's a complete difference in how I think you should trade evaluations and how I think you should trade live prop firm accounts. And I want to properly guide you when doing this stuff because a lot of people are not going to like the advice I'm about to give you on passing your prop firm account, but this stuff truly works. And when I started implementing it, when I started teaching my students how to implement it, it completely changed the game. So you have to ask yourself a specific question, right? How aggressive do you want to be when passing these prop firm accounts? Are you looking to, let's say, be super aggressive, moderate, or very, very conservative? If you're wanting to be super aggressive, let's say you have a 50K account, right? And on that 50K account, they give you a drawdown of 2,000, but you need to make a profit target of plus 3,000. If you notice, the risk to reward between your drawdown and your profit target is a 1 to 1.5 R. So 2,000 times 1.5 is 3,000. That is the risk to reward you need to go for when doing these challenges. So what does that mean? You chose to be aggressive, right? Divide this into two. 1,000 and 1,000. Now you have two trades. On these two trades, I need you to go for a risk to reward ratio of 1 to 1.5 RR. So if you hit, you would make 1,500, 1,500. Add it all up together, you pass your account. Okay, that's if you're super aggressive. Let's say you don't want to be that aggressive. Instead, you want to 4 trades. All right. 500, 500, 500, 500. Go for a 1 to 1.5. You make 750, 750, 750, 750. Add it all up together, ladies and gentlemen, you have passed your prop firm account. This method will take you roughly 2 weeks. Why? Because you have to give and take losses. But you have to understand something. The session liquidity model on gold will give you a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward ratio. Stop going for the 1 to 5. Stop going for the 1 to 10s. No. Implement a system. Okay, should I just target the lows instead or whatever? There's consistency rules. Pick a method you want. Are you going to be aggressive or conservative? If you're going to be aggressive, divide it into 2. If you're going to be conservative, divide it into 4. And go for 1 to 1.5s. And you'll pass your prop firm account. Now, you might be wondering, how can you actually know how much to risk per trade? How do you calculate risk? Well, I didn't know if I actually wanted to give this away on how I truly calculate my risk, but it's truly a game changer. And a lot of y'all might actually already know this, but turns out I was giving this information to my students and not a lot of people actually knew about this risk tool that is given to us right here on TradingView. I trade on TradingView with Tradeovate still. I never became a TopStopX fanboy, right? So this tool right here that says trade pulls up a nice little trade calculator here. And if I'm being real, I don't even use this part. I don't use it. I just use this tool right here. This tool is all I need. Let's say you're waiting for, let me go to a 1 minute time frame or something. Let's say I'm waiting for an inversion fair value gap or something and it's gonna close. Just a random example. An inversion fair value gap and I want it to close above this gap right here. Boom, like where it did right now. What I would do is I would pull up this calculator. I'm not actually going to use it. I'm just going to let it gauge me, right? I would estimate that, okay, I want the candle to close somewhere around here, where this line is. I would drag my stop loss to where I plan on setting my stop loss. I want to put my stop loss below the swing low that caused the inversion. It's telling me with 2 contracts, I'm risking 110. I will simply just increase this till it says 1,000. And now that it says I'm risking about 1,045 on this trade, I know if price was to close on this inversion, for example, this, don't pay mind to this candle that's just ripping. I caught a banger without even realizing. But let's say, because this is the candle that was going to cause that inversion, right? It would have closed somewhere here. This is where it would have closed. I would have gotten into this trade with 19 contracts and I'll be risking $1,007 per trade. Now you can also use it to estimate where your TP will be, which is at a 1 to 1.5. So we're going for like a 1,500. I always just do a little bit extra for commissions or whatever. And boom, I know for this position, I'll be going in with 19 contracts. That's how I calculate risk. I don't do any special math. I know some people say they use the ruler tool or something to see the ticks or whatever. I just use this tool on TradingView right here. That's what I use. Because I'm not a TopStopX fanboy. So I know exactly how many contracts to go in with, what I'm risking, all that fun stuff. I don't even know if TopStepX has your own risk position calculator. I'm pretty sure they do if everybody's using them. I'm sure they have a way to calculate risk. But this is just the way I do it. And I know if I get filled anywhere below this line, I know I'm not risking more than $1,007 per trade. If you wanted to get in on the retest, let's say right here, on the retest of this gap, you can just put it directly on top of the gap. It's telling you you're risking 950. Let's see how many 20 cons would be. 20 cons would be 1,000, so I can add an extra $1,000, an extra contract on this trade. And that's the tool I use to calculate risk. So once I know exactly how much I'm risking, I have a detailed game plan. I know exactly where my stop loss will be. That is why I can I don't risk only 5 contracts. And I say I risk 5 contracts per trade. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know where my stop loss is going to be, so how do I know how many contracts I'm going to be risking? On Tuesday, my stop loss could be 20 ticks, and then on Wednesday, my stop loss could be 60. I'm going to risk 5 contracts on each of those? Doesn't make any sense. My stop loss adjusts to the size of my size of my position adjusts to my stop loss. If my stop loss is wider, I go in with less contracts. If my stop loss is tighter, I go in with more contracts. At the end of the day, I'm going to be risking $1,000 on that given trade. But that is all I have for y'all on risk management and position size calculating. That being said, I'll see y'all boys in the next video.